Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, and Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
The trucker protest comes to Toronto. The Olympics come to Beijing. Kanye wants paparazzi to share the money they make off of his image. It's a pretty blue sky. It's pretty not that gray out. This is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. Hello, everyone. I am your host, Scott Dion Brown, and welcome to episode 166. Hey, who we got in the chat? Two Chungus to Vent. Sup, Scott? Hello, welcome. Ice is here as well. Coffee cup, indeed. Jalen Plays is here. Yes, he is. Thomas is here. Scott, you better talk about Kion's roar. And you're drinking tea. Delicious. Yes, we will talk about the roar. That's also big news. But of course, people, we can't start the show until I introduce the greatest co-host in the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, fun day, everyone. Scott, can you please warn me before you start making loud noises?
Oh, sorry. I didn't even, I mean, the problem is I don't know until I do it. So even I don't know.
Goodness.
But did you like my new intro? It was kind of like a news intro when I say the headlines.
When you were doing good, I was like, what is he doing? I thought you sounded like a typewriter.
Yeah, I realized as I started doing it that I was like, if I don't start, I was doing it for so long that I'm like, I don't think people are going to know that I'm doing like the classic news music. Mm-hmm. This is your headline report for whatever.
It sounds like that guy in Spider-Man, that news guy that's always trying to find him. What's his name?
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, where he's like, we're here live.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. How you doing, Regine?
I'm good. I got my hair done yesterday. Thanks for noticing, FYI. This whole time we're talking off air. No comment about it.
Oh, I did notice. Okay. I did.
Whatever. I'm done here.
Everyone in the chat noticed too, right, guys? Yeah.
Thomas is probably like, she doesn't look like Isabella anymore. No.
Well, Thomas will let you know.
What else did I do this week? I didn't do much. I just worked. Just busy at work. So that's all I do, apparently. How's your week?
It was good. I released a new video yesterday. I know a bunch of you guys have commented on it already. But so a lot of my day was spent editing those. Just getting it ready. So guys, if you want, please check out my latest music video. God gave rock and roll to you. We covered, my brother and myself did a cover of, it's the Kiss version. Although the original song is actually not written by Kiss. It's actually written by a band called Argent. But our version that we covered is much more along the lines of the Kiss cover. So
very you guys.
Yeah, there we are, just rocking it up. It was a lot of fun, actually. It was a lot of fun. So please, guys, take a look, leave a like. God gave rock and roll to you. You'll find it as my latest upload, and it's at the top of the music playlist. And actually, the other thing about that video is that that was the first video I've done, which was edited on the new editing software that I'm learning. So for the longest time, I've been editing on Sony Vegas, which is a great program for editing, but it's not really very commonly used like in the actual film industry. And I've been meaning for a long time to like transition over to software that's more commonly used, so that I could, it would be easier for me to I guess work in professional settings and things. So I started learning DaVinci Resolve, which is really, really, really a great program. I recommend it to people. It's also free. You have to buy the premium version, which I purchased, but you can get the free version and actually start editing. But
Nice.
well, the problem was, it is like, I've basically been editing on Sony Vegas since
Ever?
like high school. Like, I've been editing with Sony Vegas, right? It's like, it was one of the first programs. Actually, it wasn't the first, but it was the first one that I started using regularly. Like, I actually went out and bought the movie studio version when I was like a teenager. It was like $60 or something, and so I used that for a really, really long time. And so this week, I don't know, have you ever, like, if you're used to doing something a certain way, and then suddenly everything is different. So I'd find myself like trying to do basic things that I know. Oh, I just click this and click this, and like on DaVinci Resolve, it's different. So I'm like basically starting over again. It's a little bit frustrating.
That's like me at work, where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna teach you Photoshop." I'm like, "But I know how to use Canva."
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly the same thing. So you're able to do the same stuff, right? But the way that it's done is just a little different. So I can definitely see, like, as I'm working on it, and I'm like, it's like I've got the program open, and then over here I've got like YouTube tutorials playing, and I'm like constantly searching, how do you do this? How do you know what I mean? But like as I do it, I'm seeing like, oh wait, this program can do this too. Oh, so I'm seeing in the long run, it's gonna really benefit like my video production in the long run. But going through this phase where I feel like I'm basically like a noob again, it's frustrating. And
But you know what? I was watching your video. Like, okay, first off, when I saw the little photo on Instagram, I was like, oh my God, another video. I wanted to message you like, who are you? New music this year? But no, it's great. I love seeing that you and your brother are back in studio. It sucks though that he's not here, but
yeah, well, that's why. So like, the reason that the last two music videos have been the two of us collabing, even though he's in Vancouver, is because we filmed those at the same time. So he was in town for, just over the holidays for a short amount of time. And so that's one thing that I planned. I was like, okay, if you're going to be here for this time, why don't we do these two videos together? And so I had done like a bunch of all the prep work, because I knew we didn't have much time to actually work together. So I did all the prep work in advance when he got there. Then we basically shot all the footage for both videos in kind of 2 days. And then I like mixed and mastered all the audio after he went home. So that's why, like, he was here over the holidays, and we finally got this one out. So, but I have been trying to, like, part of my New Year's resolution to be more productive. So I am hoping to keep this pace up of like pretty consistent video uploads,
How does it feel to be singing again?
I mean, it feels really good. I mean, the thing that I really liked, which again, it was when he was over the holidays, was just being in the studio recording music like with another artist, and just like sitting there and like creating stuff. That was like, I was sitting there, and I said it to him at the time. I was like, this feels really nice. Like I forgot how this thing feels, just like recording music, because everything I recorded, even songs that I put out on my own, it's very on your own, and I'm basically just in this room, but there's something special about working with other musicians and creating things. So I'm hoping that happens. Chungus, can we play Among Us again? Yes. I just don't know when. Do you
not play it anymore?
No, I haven't played it in a while. It's just because, I mean, the game kind of dropped off in popularity for a while. And what I noticed is when we were doing it every week, I just noticed that the interest seemed to be going down. And like, the thing about the Among Us streams is it relies on a solid group of people being there to play in the games. Like, it's not, I can't do an Among Us stream by myself, and
I'll join you. No.
Yeah. But the frustrating thing, it just got to like the last few streams, suddenly like it would be nice to have a 10-person game, but then suddenly there would only be 5 people, and so because it got inconsistent, I kind of had to drop it off. And then we did do one Among Us stream when there was an update that came out. So there was suddenly interest in it. So I think we are going to do an Among Us stream, but it'll be something where we have to plan so I can make sure that there's going to be enough people, right?
There's a Among Us on the Xbox One now. So my fiance was playing with it with his friends, because he has a big TV. I'm like, wow, so this is what it looks like on the big screen.
Huh. Big
Very
screen
different.
Among Us.
Very
I feel like it's
different
definitely
than the
more.
computer.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more engaging for sure. Especially difference from like playing on your phone to playing on the big screen. So there you go. Thomas says, "Nah, I tried playing Among Us. It's trash." Well, one thing I will find say about Among Us is like the only time playing Among Us is fun for me is when it's in like the way we did it on stream, where it's like voice. You have to have the voice chat and all that stuff going. I find just going in and playing Among Us by yourself without the voice chat, where you're just playing with random people, I don't enjoy it at all, because half the game is you have a bunch of people who they'll come into the game, and if they don't get imposter, they just leave right away. So it's already just hard to get into a game because it's like people just want to be imposter, right? Or else they just leave the game, go to some other game.
Yeah.
And you're only typing to chat, and it's just, it doesn't have any of the qualities. Like the thing that I like about Among Us as a game is the interactions between people. Is this person lying? Is this person, you know what I mean? That kind of, it's almost like independent of the game. It's more the murder mystery aspect, the interaction with people, and playing the game just by yourself, like the way most people would have to play, just jumping in a public game. It doesn't have any of that. So
I
don't really get much out of it.
I think too it was more popular during lockdown because, like you said, it's the interaction amongst people, where when the pandemic was happening, you weren't really seeing anyone, you weren't talking to anyone. Now that things are opening up again, it's a whole other story.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, and also games just, they kind of go over phases, right? Like Fall Guys, for example, like everybody was playing Fall Guys for like a month. I even went on and bought Fall Guys, and then suddenly nobody was playing Fall Guys anymore. And like I could play it again. I mean, I honestly, I kind of enjoyed the game, and I paid for it, so maybe I should go play it. But games just come and go in phases. I mean, even Brawlhalla, like I do Brawlhalla twice a week, but I'm running tournaments, right? So if I suddenly found out that like, oh, I'm running my tournament and like nobody's showing up, like I'm gonna have to cancel it, right? Because like if I'm gonna run a stream that's kind of reliant on people participating, if people aren't interested to participate, I can't do it. So
that's fair.
So we will play Among Us again. We'll have to pick a date. I don't know. We'll pick a date. Right now I'm playing Dark Souls, which is a one-player game, but it's like one of the people call it's like one of the hardest games ever made.
Oh.
It's something that's used as like, so let's say somebody comes out with like a game that's like a side scroller game, but it's really hard. People in the media will always be like, this new game is the Dark Souls of side scroller games. Like that's how Dark Souls is like held up as like the hardest game. And it's pretty fun.
Is it hard?
Fun. It would be if I wasn't me.
Oh. Do you remember when you used to play Cuphead?
Yeah. I find, Cuphead was, that's the thing.
Hard?
So, in fact, Cuphead, I think I still found more challenging than Dark Souls. Like Dark Souls, there's a lot of difficulty, but I haven't met any bosses yet where, like to kill the last boss in Cuphead, it was 6 hours of just that boss, of going into that boss and dying, and then going in again and dying, and going in, dying, going in, dying. Right? I haven't had that experience yet with Dark Souls. Like there has been a lot of that, but it's not been that length. And then same thing, like the hardest boss I fought so far is in Undertale, the boss Sans. He's still the hardest boss I've ever fought in any game. So I think like Undertale, beating that boss is harder than anything I fought in Dark Souls. But Chunga says that I met Scott. Oh yeah, there you go.
Was that what you're gonna read? I'm so sorry.
Oh no, yeah. Actually, I was reading his other one, but yeah, that's right. It's true. I was streaming Cuphead, and when the DLC comes out, or when Cuphead 2 comes out, it's a DLC. Yeah, we'll be playing it day one. He goes, that's the thing about games and popularity. It becomes popular for like a few months, and then popularity goes away. Yeah, that's the thing with multiplayer games. I mean, it's really hard to have one with actual staying power. Yes. Have you heard of this show, The Lion Guard, Regine?
Isn't Lion Guard from Lion King?
Yes.
Yes, I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Well, when we were talking about Disney last week, Thomas has been sending me clips from this show, The Lion Guard, because we mentioned The Lion King. And it's interesting. So it takes place in the Lion King universe. And I believe this main character is someone named Kion, Kion, Kion or Kion. And he's like Simba and Nala's son.
Oh, yeah, because have you watched any of the other Lion King
The
movies?
sequels I have not, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. I have.
Well, in this show, The Lion Guard, it's kind of a superhero show. Because, so if you're in charge, so I haven't seen too much of it, but I've seen the clips that Thomas has sent me. And the Lion Guard is like, they're the special guard of like Pride Rock, the air,
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the Lion Guard, you have like, if you're the leader of the Lion Guard, you have like this special like symbol on you. I think all the members of the Lion Guard have it. It's like this little claw paw, like tattoo looking thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're the leader of the Lion Guard, you have access to this power called like the roar. What's it called? The roar of the ancients or something, or the roar of the.
Roar.
But when you roar, it like he roars and then it shows like the clouds behind him look like lions and they roar too.
So like Care Bears?
Kind of, except it's like a super, like when he roars, he like sends bad guys like flying. They go flying like over the horizon. Or like there was one where he roared and he was able to like, Pride Rock where like they held up baby Simba? He was like able to roar. A roar of the elders. There you go. Roar of the elders. When he roared, he like was able to like lift the entire Pride Rock out of the ground. Like he was like, roar, and then the Pride Rock lifted out of the ground and then went back down. And then at another part, I'll show her the clips later there, Thomas. Another part, we learned that Scar, before he turned bad, before he was the bad guy, was the leader of the Lion Guard. So at some point, Scar was able to roar and lift all of Pride Rock.
Is that why he has a scar on his face? Was that his patch?
No, apparently he got the scar from a snake. They actually show how he gets his scar. There's like snake
I feel
venom.
like I've seen this. Now that you're mentioning it, I may have seen it. But
The thing is, yeah.
I will watch it again.
Thing is, the roar, it's literally like a superpower. Like that's what I was saying to Thomas on stream the other day. I'm like, he's basically Kion is basically a superhero now. Like he can do things that like there was another thing he can do. If like the thing is, they seem to establish every episode all these things he can do. Like there was a part where there was a cloud in the sky and these people like they needed water. They were so thirsty, and so he roared at the cloud, and it turned into a rain cloud and started raining.
Imagine if you could do that. If I like roared at you, imagine all the things that I could get.
Yes.
Roar.
Thomas says Scar never mastered the roar. He killed his guard and he lost the roar. Okay, but what I'm saying is if he had mastered the roar, he would have. You know my only problem with it, Thomas? The show's interesting, okay? I kind of like it. It's pretty fun.
Go ahead.
It's meant for kids, is that what you're saying? So was The Lion King. Lion King's meant for kids.
Yeah, but we were kids when we watched The Lion King.
Yeah, but my point is, what does it mean for the Lion King cinematic universe if like you're watching Lion King 1 and you're watching this with the knowledge that somewhere in this world there is a lion with the ability to roar and lift the entire Pride Rock out of the ground? Or like there's a scene, remember in Lion King after the hyenas take over and Scar becomes king? Spoiler, sorry everybody. and it's like because they've eaten everything, like all of Pride Rock becomes like a wasteland. Wait, I just realized something. In Lion King, remember everything's all dried out, and then at the end,
he roared and it started
he roars,
raining.
and then it starts raining. I just realized that. So maybe that was the roar. Maybe he used the roar.
Maybe, you never know.
Thomas, I take it all back. I take it all back.
He's
I mean,
mind blown right now.
anyways, the
But
Lion
true.
Guard. I guess the show must be current. It must be a current show. It must be on right now.
I know that there were kids that used to watch it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I still follow a YouTuber.
Mhm.
She vlogs every day, and her daughters used to love Lion Guard. So
Well, there you go.
can I just say,
Why does this make sense? Yeah, exactly.
because it does make sense.
Yep.
Okay, going back to Encanto really quickly. I don't know. There's this girl or this influencer. I don't know what she is. This person on, I think it was TikTok, where she was, the Disney green, where they have like pot
Disney.
plants or like a specific shade of green. And so if they're
Wait, what are you talking about? Disney, like the color
just
green?
listen, just follow along. So there's a shade of green that Disney uses at all the Disney parks, which they paint their like garbage cans or their whatever they don't want to be seen and noticed. They paint it that color green.
Okay, got it.
That shade of green is the same shade of green Bruno wears. Was this a coincidence?
That's kind of cool because he's always hidden.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Like she
That's
literally
cool.
took Bruno's picture and then a picture of the Disney green and put them side by side, and they were the exact same shade.
That's interesting. I mean, it's like that. I like when movies do little things like that. It's cool. Thomas, I'm watching Kyan roar and make a tornado. See what I mean? So that means now, so he's basically got like, he can like send you flying. Okay. He can lift things with it. He can change the weather. He's like Storm from X-Men. Kyan could join the Avengers. He's more powerful than members of the Avengers.
Well, there you go. And they're Disney owned.
Yes. Ice says, are we talking about Bruno?
Multiverse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Welcome.
we were talking about Bruno.
We were talking about Bruno, but we don't talk about Bruno, Ice.
Please don't do that while I'm drinking coffee.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Are you doing a cover?
I'm seriously considering it. I just have to decide. I just got to decide what my approach would be, but I feel like it would be a good idea to do it. It's a very popular song, and it is quite catchy. Even though I don't think that about any of the other songs in the musical, I think that about this one. And yes. So I probably will. I've just got to evaluate, again, because there's a lot of female voices in it. So I would have to decide, one, am I going to try to do how I did before, where I'm actually imitating the voices? And can I like maintain a female sounding voice in like a way that's musically pleasant to listen to for an entire verse? Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Or
no, do it now. Do it now.
We don't talk about Bruno. You know what I mean? Not sure. So, or if vocally it sits in my range either way, I could just do a version that's like in my voice, but I'm just singing all the parts. So I got to experiment. I think I would do it a cappella the way I did the Mulan cover. So that's probably a thing I will do. But we will see. I don't know. It's on the docket. List? Yeah, to-do list. So the Olympics.
Worst transition. Yes.
Yeah, the Olympics have started. I haven't watched any of it.
I didn't even know it started, to be completely honest.
I didn't either. In fact, why did I find out it started? Oh yeah, because I was watching. No. I had to drive my girlfriend to an appointment, I guess yesterday, and the radio was just like, the Olympics have started in Beijing. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I might tune in. The only thing I'm kind of interested in is the hockey, to be honest. And actually, even the hockey now, the NHL players aren't playing on the team. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see, because what they ended up doing was they actually kind of had to, because so they originally NHL players were going to play in the game, in the games, and then they 6 weeks ago literally canceled because The NHL has had to cancel something like 100 games because of COVID. And so they just don't have, in order to make the NHL season work, they just can't take a break in the middle for, and so because of that, they've like, their team is basically this mixture of like young people who like aren't in the NHL or like veterans who are just out of the NHL or like playing in other parts of, playing in other parts of the world, So I'm curious to see like how will our team do? Because like they're going to be good players. They're promising young people or veterans who are just a little bit outside. Like our captain is Eric Stahl, who was like, I think he was in the NHL last year. But so I'm curious to see. But do you ever watch any of the Olympics? Is there something you tune in for? Or no?
No, I think no, there isn't. I feel like I've never really been into sports to begin with, so following the Olympics just doesn't make sense to me. Did I ever? I may have if it was on TV as a kid and I happened to walk by it, but I don't sit there. I think the most amount of sports that I actually watched, besides the Raptors in the finals, was when I worked at Air Canada Center because I had no choice. It was there. It
was right there. Yeah.
But I will say, because I did watch the juniors win gold at the Air Canada Center, when they did win gold at the Air Canada Center, the atmosphere and the pride was very contagious.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the thing. I mean, people watching outside of Canada. I mean, the interesting thing about the Winter Olympics, Canadians really get behind it in a way that they don't. I mean, they still get behind the Summer Olympics, but the Winter Olympics is where Canada really shines because that's where a lot of the sports that the Canadians tend to win at are in. And then yeah, exactly. And then also like most Canadians, I think, will tune in for the Olympics really only for the hockey. Like, I mean, you'll watch other things, right? But hockey is the only sport that a lot of Canadians will watch outside of the Olympics as well, right? So like nobody really watches, I shouldn't say nobody. Most people I don't think are tuning in for figure skating on the regular or tuning in for the luge.
I feel like there are some people who would watch figure skating.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are. That's why I didn't say.
I mean, I would, but I just don't know when they're playing.
But what I mean is, like, the Olympics are the time where people suddenly take in it. Like, there's the audience for like any of those sports goes from whatever 5% to like 500% in that small little period of the Olympics, right? But the hockey one is the one that most Canadians will tune in for, and but I'm just curious to see what this team is going to look like. We'll be cheering for them, but it's we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, well, I think the thing I did want to mention, though, the thing that I was curious about, even less so than the actual games that have just started, was I don't know if you've seen the Olympic outfit designs by Lululemon. I
don't know. I think I've seen maybe one on TikTok, but I don't really pay attention to it.
Well, here I've got some of it here. Anyway, I saw the images of it like before the Olympics, and I like it. I like it quite a bit. Like, so it's done by Lululemon, and okay, let me see if there's any. So they've got these like long flowing coats, and like they've got this like coat that's like
ooh, like a puffer.
Yeah, it's a puffer jacket, but it's got no sleeves. You see, it's almost like a big long vest.
Oh.
Yeah. And the thing that I like about it the most is that I was honestly never really a fan of the Bay's designs. Like, I don't know if you...
Isn't it Roots?
No, it used to... So it was Roots like over 10 years ago. That's when Roots was our... And Roots like was the best. Roots was the best we ever had. When Roots was doing it, there's a pretty cool picture. Remember when Roots first did it, it made such a splash at the Olympics that the following Olympics, the Americans hired Roots to do theirs. And so there was that stretch where it was Roots on the Canada and the US teams. And then a few years later, the oh, hey, Abigail McIntosh, welcome. A few years later, the Hudson's Bay Company was awarded the contract. And I never liked the fit of any of it. Like it.
It's interesting though, because Hudson's Bay is not Canadian owned anymore.
No, that's true. Although, but yeah, that's true. I mean, it is culturally though, it's like, it's the oldest company in North America. And it's like, there's a lot of history there, but you're right. It's not owned by, it's now owned by, is it an American company or something? Yeah. Oh, yes, yeah. But the thing is, I never really liked the actual designs of it. The only thing that I liked that was so popular was, remember the red mittens?
Yeah.
Everybody wanted those red mittens.
I had those.
Yeah, me too. But the actual like Olympic stuff, the sweaters and things, like there wasn't anything that I wanted to buy that I would wear. But so the red mittens were the big item that everybody wanted before. But now it looks like the new big item is the Canada scarf. And I kind of want to get one. So have you seen it, Regine?
Was it in the clip that you just showed?
Yeah, but I'm trying to find like a good picture of it.
But here's the thing. Yeah, it's great and it looks pretty and it's prideful, but Lululemon's expensive.
Yes, it is. But the thing that I like about it, I mean, I don't even mind if it's expensive. I just kind of like that it looks designed. You know what I mean? Like the base stuff always felt like it was it just felt like clothes. Yeah, it was like clothes. This actually looks like it's fashion a little bit. But the thing that's catching a splash, and I'd never seen this before the actual opening ceremonies, and I didn't see the opening ceremonies, but I saw the pictures, is this scarf. Look at this scarf. It's like a puffer jacket scarf.
Hang on,
and it spells out Canada. So there's like
Ada.
Yeah, so there's like six squares, and it spells out Canada.
You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah.
You know when your back hurts and you put those like heating pads over your back?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
But it's kind of like,
cool.
Look at how big and puffy it is. Look here, there's like another girl wearing it. I kind of want one of those.
Your winter jacket is already poofy, and then you're gonna put this giant poof on around your neck.
Yeah, but don't you feel like it's so? Because you know what I like about it though, it's very
cozy.
Yeah, and it's unique. Like it's something that's I've never seen before.
It kind of looks like your Mr. Philippine sash, the way that you wear it.
Look at that. It's pretty. I would wear this. Look at that big puffy guy.
I wouldn't, but go ahead, be my guest.
But anyway, this is the item. This is the item that's catching everybody's eye this year.
You know what it is about the scarf, and this is just me personally. I don't like things touching my neck, even like is it crew neck, the one that just goes over. That's why I cut this shirt, because I don't like feeling things around my neck. So I feel like that would make me feel constricted, and I'd just be like, no, thank you.
I understand that. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't really like tight shirts usually. Like this one's fairly loose fitting, but
no, I didn't like it. That's why I'm like, snip.
Yeah, but I find like, so what do you do in winter? Do you never wear a scarf, or what do you do?
I do wear a scarf, but I use like the crocheted ones, so they're a little bit looser.
Just keep it loose. Makes sense. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, I'll probably be picking up one of these scarves because I just feel like the Olympic uniforms, right? They're supposed to be. They should look like a fashion statement of some kind, right? Like that's the whole reason.
Like the Summer
why.
Olympics.
I can't even remember what those look like.
Wasn't it like denim or something?
Yeah, that's right. Oh,
the Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was the last one that the Bay did, right? Yeah. Like, still the best ones that we ever had were when Roots did it. I would love Roots to get it back, but when I found out Lululemon was getting it again, because it's a bit more of a fashion type label, I liked it.
It's leisure wear.
It is, but it's like it's a bit more like it's they made leisure wear fashionable, right? Like before Lululemon, what did you wear to the gym? You wore like
TNA.
yeah, I guess. Or but even that, you just wear like sweatpants and a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like
Roots. You do wear roots.
maybe, yeah. Like brands like Lululemon made like gym stuff like I don't know, sexy or whatever.
They're also very expensive.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna cost, you know. But again, I don't think you buy this stuff to be thrifty, you know. $78 for a scarf. I want to touch it. Because if you're gonna wrap it around your neck, yeah, maybe eventually. It does look cool though.
Do you want me to go to the mall for you? Because I know you don't like going to the mall, and then see what it feels like and let you know.
Maybe.
I'll send you a video. I'll be like, look.
Yeah, exactly. Because it does look cool. Thomas, Kion made water part, and he made lightning strike. So he's Moses, basically. And he also made lightnings break a rock.
So he's Zeus, too?
So he's Zeus. See, he's a god. Kion is a god. Hey, LNG Steelioting, hello. Welcome to the stream. Let's do the ads. Let's do the ads quickly. We've been chatting so much, Regine.
We were chatting before the show even started, and we're like, maybe we should go live.
Yeah. Go, we gotta get the stuff on the air. Get the stuff on the air. Okay, well, everybody. Today's incredible episode. Actually, I've really enjoyed this chat. I think we're hitting some good points here. Today's episode of the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. And in these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. That's right, my realtor, the place I'm living in right now, as well as the last place I was living in. She is the one who helped me find it. She's fantastic. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at JMckenziehomes at gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East, Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and change watch batteries, all done on site. And we have a fantastic deal worked out with them, don't we, Regine?
We do. If you go into the store and let them know that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right, 15% off, 15%. Mention the show, tell them Scott and Regine sent you. Jerry at Jewelry Forever is an absolute artist. He specializes in custom designs, but they also have a beautiful selection of goods that are already there, ready to go, that you can go check out. So get on in there, mention the show, get 15% off, and find out more at Jewelry. Oh, yeah, what?
Right before Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Valentine's Day is coming up. Like a week.
It's
a week away. Get over there.
Scott. Go.
Oh, man. I got to get over to Jewelry Forever. Or find out more at jewelryforever.ca. And if you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, isn't it, Regine?
It's simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowads. That's radioshowads@gmail.com.
That's right. This is a live show, people. We do it live every week. And we also do the ads live every week. What does that mean? It means you can personalize those ads week to week. Do you have an event, a sale, something happening at a particular time in a particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, Radio Show AD at gmail.com. And we're back.
Can I just say, now that we're back,
yeah.
Looking back at the footage of us all being in person, like even their intro, when it's a clips of all the things that we've done in the past, and then seeing this clip at the mall without a mask on, I'm just like, man, I want to go back to that.
Yeah, I know. We are. I mean, I think we are going back to that, right? I mean, So I know in Ontario, things have started to reopen right in January, as of January 31st. I know movie theaters are back.
Restaurant and indoor dining is back.
Yeah. So the restrictions are slowly going away. And I think, I mean, again, it's what we're still saying is it looks like Omicron is running its course and it's almost over. And assuming things don't go, crazy again, might be done.
I mean, we're also I'm seeing an event in March in person.
That's right. So
can we do this in person again? Like hosting an event in person together? Or are we going to be like, ooh?
We'll be like, where's the camera? Wait, you're actually beside me?
Why are you here?
I will say that the one episode so when Taylor was here, because we were able to like bubble together at the time because we in the same place. When he was sitting beside me, it did feel a bit weird because I was used to like basically I'm looking at the screen, so I see us, have the camera, and I have my screens, and it was weird having somebody actually right here when they're speaking, and I felt strange looking at them. I was like, oh, this is kind of weird, but again, I think we'll adjust pretty quickly, Regine. I think we're professionals here. We're professionals.
I'm like, look at me, Scott.
Yeah. Exactly.
Why won't you turn your head?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, you know what it is? We'll just hit the road. We'll hit the ground running. I think we'll be fine. I think once we're in the moment, it feels weird to think about now, but once we're actually back and doing it the way we did it, and we're just chatting and talking to it's going to be great, Regine. One day. Did you hear about this thing? Kanye West a little while ago. I think it was a couple weeks ago now. He had like a little interaction with a paparazzi photographer, and he mentioned how he wants to change it so that the paparazzi have to give a percentage of the money they get when they sell their photos to the celebrities that they take photos of.
Why?
So Kanye's justification was, he's like, right now, it's one-sided. It's like, you can follow me around. You can follow me to my house. You can follow me everywhere I go. You can follow my kids. You take all these pictures. You're making all this money off these pictures you're taking of us. And you can follow us everywhere and, bother us all the time. And we don't get anything for it. And I was thinking about it because I was trying to understand. I was trying to figure out if that's something feasibly that could even work. I don't know. That they would have to like make a new law for it or something.
I feel like there's so many paparazzi photographers out there who already do have deals with with celebrities.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? I understand where it's like, oh, you're taking pictures of my kids. That is different because it's their child and they're a minor. And technically you shouldn't be taking pictures of minors and then selling it because that's just weird. But when it comes to celebrities like Kanye, like the Kardashians, I guarantee you they're already making a portion of the paparazzi shots. There's probably just one photographer who's like, no, I'm not paying you. And that's why he came up with this situation.
That's true. It's true because you also do have celebrities who will like preemptively, like say they're going to have a wedding or something, or like some event, or they're going to be on vacation. That's true. They'll like contact the photographers and like, okay, yeah, we'll sell you this for this. So that's true. But I guess what he's referring to is just, going to get a Starbucks or something, or a Jamba Juice, and they're just there, or like you're dropping your kids off at school and they're there, or you're just, taking out your garbage.
Is he broke? Like, is he like struggling for money now that he's not part of the Kardashian clan? Like, is this why he's trying to make more money? Like, no other celebrity has come out and been like, you need to pay me for the photos that you're taking of me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's 2021. Like, sorry, Scott. It's 2021. Yeah. No celebrity has come out since all this paparazzi has happened and says they need to give me a portion of their funds. Either he's struggling or there is that one guy or girl who said, I'm not giving you money. And now he's trying to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if it's financial necessarily. Like, it's something like, yeah, I want money. Could be. But it could also when I heard him speaking, to me it came across as more like he didn't like how, I don't know, predatory it was, in the sense that they're able to like basically bother him all the time, and he's not getting anything out of it. And I think maybe he feels like if it was more balanced, where it was like, okay, you're gonna take these pictures, but just so you know, like I think he's trying to make it more of a mutual thing. I don't know.
Okay, back sorry. Back to what I was saying. It's 2022. I think I said 2021 earlier. It's 2022. How long has Kanye been in the limelight for? Ever?
Forever now, yeah. Long time.
Forever now? And why is it now that he chooses to speak up about paparazzi pictures?
That's a good point.
Is it because of his new girlfriend? Is it making any money off of it?
Maybe. That could be. That could be his motive. Yeah, you're right, Regine. It could be. Hey, Christopher Mraz, welcome to the stream. Abigail McIntosh is here eating candy. Delicious. Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I was thinking about it, right? And I actually did a little bit of research. And I looked into it, like, well, I just wanted to see, like, let's say they were trying to make a law for it, right? So here's the thing. As it is right now, if someone takes your picture, right, there's certain rules with what they can do with the image, right? So it's why, for example, like if I was making a movie, right, and I go like film somebody. In fact, even if it's not a random person, when I have actors be in the movie, or when I'm going to be in a film or something, right, they always make you sign a release form, right, which says I give you permission for myself to appear in this thing. And apparently the rule is basically you can't basically publish anybody's photo without their permission, right? That's the general rule. Right, it's so that you can't like go and watch the next Avengers movie and you're there because you happen, that's not allowed. But there's a whole bunch of like exceptions made. One, if you're considered a public figure, suddenly all of those rules about like controlling your image are kind of thrown out the window. And second, there's also exceptions made if you're members of the media. So like if you're like if you're doing something newsworthy or covering something that's, which celebrities, I guess, are considered that. Same thing. It's like they can take pictures and they don't have to have permission, and they don't have to do any of that. So in order for them to make that possible, if Kanye were to get his way, they would have to make
Kanye anymore, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. It's Ye, right? It's funny, in that interaction with the paparazzi, that's right, he even corrects him. The guy calls him Kanye and he goes, it's Ye. I'm like, okay, fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, sure.
I pulled a Kanye.
But in order for him to get his way, they would have to make some law where it's like, I don't think they could do it, because the thing is, it basically, paparazzi are taking advantage of the law that protects the press from covering the news, right? So the idea, like, if a politician is doing something unsavory, right, and the media catches him and gets pictures of it, the whole reason the law exists is to protect the media and to protect the public. Like, no, like, this is newsworthy, this should be out there, right? And because public figures are public figures, it's kind of, they're using that same rule. So in order for them to make it possible, if they were to like, no, you have to pay them, you have to find some way that excludes that part of it. Oh no, this politician's doing something newsworthy. No, we're not going to pay the politician. You know what I mean? But it becomes such a weird gray area. The other thing I was thinking about is, like, when do you become a public figure? And when do you not become a public figure?
Are you a public figure, Scott?
That's the thing. I was thinking about that. Like, are you a public figure? Are we public figures? Because we are, here we are. We're like, we have an audience right now. There are people watching us right now, right? I know I'm a performer. You regularly do events, and so like.
Thanks. You just...
Yeah, but
I'm a performer. You just do events.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
Thanks.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. We're both performers. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, at what point do you become a public figure, and at what point do you not? Because, like, who decides? Who decides?
Okay, to all the viewers and listeners out there, are Scott and I public figures? I mean, Scott's an actor and a singer, actor, songwriter,
Yep.
model, X, Y, and Z, internationally acclaimed supermodel,
Dashing
male
international
sensation.
superstar.
Yeah,
Correct.
whatever it is. And then I do pageants. So maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You tell us. Are we?
Because the interesting thing as well is it's like, at what point would it stop? Like, for example, let's say Ye announces his retirement, right? And doesn't put out music anymore. He stopped putting out music. He just decides, nope, I'm going to settle down and I'm going to just raise my family and, I'm done, right? Like, people aren't going to stop taking his picture, right? I certainly not right away, right? People will follow him. Oh, how's he enjoying it, right? But at what point does that stop? What point can you be like, okay, well now I'm just a private citizen now, so now you're taking my picture and putting it in the paper. You can't do that.
Well, he's always going to be known as Kanye West or Kanye or Ye or whatever he'll go by in 10 years from now. So regardless, I mean, it's like, for example, Shania Twain didn't put out music for a long time, but I'm sure if someone saw her down the street, they'd still be chasing her.
So you're saying it never ends. So basically, once you become in the public eye, you can never leave. Interesting. And I guess even in this case, it wouldn't even matter because the paparazzi are technically members of the media. I don't think they don't need permission to take people's pictures, even if you aren't a public figure, right? Like,
okay, but wait, let's go back to the children, okay? Because Kanye made a comment, or Ye made a comment saying, "You're taking pictures of my family." So where do you draw the line of taking celebrities' children's photos? Because that's, like I said, taking a photo of a minor and then selling it for money is just wrong, regardless if you are a celebrity's child or not.
I would agree, and also I would actually even agree that, or rather add to it that I don't even think it's the minor thing is minors that's a whole other thing. But like if Ye has a child and that child decides that they're gonna just go work in a bank, and this person is just having a regular job and living a regular life and has no interest in doing any of this stuff, I don't think that people should follow that person around. I don't. I mean, that's just a person. You're bothering somebody, and they have no interest or desire to be in the public eye.
I feel like we shouldn't use Kanye or Ye and Kim's children as an example for that because they've been on camera since they were born, keeping up with the Kardashians.
True.
But
you
I
mean
get
they've been put in the shows? You mean, and that sort of thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's look at Brad and Angelina's children then, because they're not on camera. So if they were to go to their McDonald's where they're working, then that's a whole other story. Yeah.
Well, because I've even thought about that, like even in our own limited life as public figures, right? As like just members of my family, my parents or my aunts and uncles, and who they're not performers, they're not, and I always wonder like I remember it used to happen, it still does, but now I've locked things down better. But I remember, for example, Facebook, right? It was fairly a regular thing when my band would play somewhere. Usually in the days following a show, I would get some friend requests, right? People who saw the show or something, and I just get some random, one or two. The thing is, Facebook's so broken now that half the friend requests you get now are like not even real accounts. But earlier on, when there were less spam accounts, right? And a lot of times it would just be people who, saw the show, and they're, and they were like, oh, maybe they'll follow the band, so. And the thing I didn't like was, and I would always just ignore those requests because at that time, Facebook, if you have access to my Facebook profile, you're going to see who basically my entire family is, right? Like once you become my Facebook friend, you're going to see all of them, right? And that made me really uncomfortable. It still does, right? And so now I've locked things down pretty good, but it's like, at what point, like, if we were to get more and more, if the sit down just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and people want to know about our lives, right? I don't like the idea that people would search for, like members of my extended family or even friends. Like, they didn't ask for that,
And this is why, what's going on with my voice? This is why Scott's girlfriend is not seen anywhere.
That's exactly why. Yeah. Because she's not a public figure. She's not interested in that stuff, and I'm quite happy
She is behind the camera on all of Scott's vlogs.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, that's right. But it's the fact that her face is not out there is same thing. It's deliberate. She's she's a person, and she's not a performer. So. Anyway, we kind of got off the topic of could people control their image, but it's kind of related. But I understand where he's coming from. Like, let's assume that his intentions aren't just because he needs money. Let's pretend that that's not the reason, even though it could be. But let's pretend that it's not the reason. Maybe he was just sitting there being like, this is stressing me out. There are people all the time following me everywhere I go, and like they're just like. I think it's like he feels like they're preying on him all the time, and they're taking all this from him, and they're extracting money. What they're doing is they're extracting money because they take the picture of him at the gas station, and then they go and sell it, and they get money, and he has to just deal with it because he's Ye, and people just take his picture all the time. But I guess he's trying to find some way to balance the scales a little bit. Like, maybe in his mind, people would be more respectful. Like, the photographers would be more respectful if it was more of a mutual thing. But legally, I don't know if there's a way that he can do it.
Before you read your dad's comment, I do think that with the whole Kanye Ye situation, if you've been following social media and seeing, because I do watch like The Social, and I do see it on social media, like the things that Kanye is up to or Ye is up to.
Yep.
I don't know. A part of me feels like now that if paparazzi really is following him around so much right now, it's because he's giving paparazzi something to follow him with, like purchasing the house across the street from Kim Kardashian, or his new girlfriend and all the PDA that they're putting out there. I mean, don't give the paparazzi something to take a picture of if you don't want them to follow you around, but you're out there willingly making out with your new girlfriend. Like, bro, calm down.
That's true. And I have heard that, like, obviously we're in Toronto, but I have spoken to people. Oh, my dad says, "What do you mean I'm not a performer?" Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about everybody else. Obviously, my dad's, yeah.
He said extended family.
Yeah,
Mr.
extended
Brown.
family. Yeah. But yeah, I have heard people say, like, in LA, it's like there are places that you should go if you want to be photographed. You know what I mean? So like there are plenty of celebrities who you never see pictures of them because they just don't go places where the paparazzi will find them. So I can understand that to a bit, in that maybe, everything he's doing it for the purpose of being seen by them. And if he didn't want to be seen by them, there's a way to not be seen by them. But although at the same time, I've got to think there are definitely cases like when you're so famous, where I think Ye is up there. There's probably people following him everywhere he goes, whether he wants to or not. Like, isn't it true? Did they say that Taylor Swift was like being carried around in a box for a while?
What?
There was this rumor where the paparazzi were getting pictures of like Taylor Swift's staff would like exit a building carrying or pulling this giant suitcase, and then they would carefully put it in a truck or van, and then they would drive away. And like that, they got a bunch of, for like several months, like they didn't see Taylor anywhere, but they just saw her staff carrying this. And like, so people are thinking that Taylor, purposely to avoid being seen by paparazzi, was like getting into a giant suitcase and being wheeled out of the building. So she wouldn't be seen.
Wait, are you telling us when you become this bigger star than you already are, you want us to carry you around in a luggage?
I mean, it's kind of a fun idea if you don't want to be seen.
I mean, your dad's here, Mr. Brown. Let's go look for, those giant hockey bags?
Yeah. Yeah. Although I think I would
Throw
want something.
Scott in there.
I think I'd want something with a little bit more padding, just because a hockey
but then
bag.
at least, yeah, but then at least it's already big enough, and there's wheels, and we could just pull it along.
Okay, fine. But you know what you have to do? You have to stuff it full of those Team Canada scarves first.
Okay.
I need padding.
We'll line it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So if people are out and see me pulling this giant
Pulling a giant.
hockey bag, there's Scott in there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Thomas says, not going to lie, Regine looks like a model. Well, there you go.
Wow. First I look like Isabella, now I look like a model. I thank you, Thomas.
Thanks, Thomas. But anyway, yeah, but the Taylor Swift thing, that kind of points to how
weird.
But it kind of points to how tough it must be, in that she knows that everywhere she goes, they're going to be there. Like, they basically follow her everywhere. So I've got to think, like, if she wants to not be seen by them, she must have to send like decoys out, like a decoy truck to go one way, and then she goes the other way.
Mm-hmm.
I can see
think about Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Britney's another one. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know.
But when you sign up to be a celebrity, you sign up for paparazzi. There's no way that you knew going into stardom that there's going to be cameras following you around.
True. Yeah, no, I mean,
that's saying.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. I've got to think either way. It probably just must get tiring, I guess. Must get tiring.
Well, we've dealt with some sort of paparazzi when we do the Mabuhay Festival every year. When you do the Santa Cruz run, you're literally walking through the streets of Toronto, and there's literally a camera at every corner.
Yep, following.
And I know all the photographers, so they all call my name, and I just feel like a celebrity, and I take it in.
Yeah.
And whoever my partner is loves it because they get good pictures too.
True. But I got to think it must get tiring. Like, imagine if, then you finish the Santa Cruz on, and then they're still there, and then you're done. You take off the dress and you change it to your regular clothes, and you're like on the way home, and they're like still there, and then you get home. Happened. Really? Ugh.
It's gone to the point where, like, because I've been with PIDC since 2010, right? And so at these festivals, I do arrive knowing that there will be photographers there, so I am all dolled up. And then I change into my dress, and then I change back into my regular clothes. So if you look at all the Mabuhay Festival photos, why can't I speak today? Photos that I have, I have my Santa Cruzan outfits, and then I have my casual outfits. But I don't do casual when I know that there are photographers there.
Makes sense. But so I guess then you just have to be on all the time. Like, so if you knew.
Have you ever seen me at a Mabuhay festival or any of these festivals with no makeup on?
But I don't even mean that. I mean, like, before you get to the festival. I mean, like when you're like 2 days before the festival, when you're like at the grocery store, and then you're at the mall, like buying makeup. But that's what I'm saying. That's what they would have to deal with, right? Is that it doesn't.
That fancy.
Yeah. But I'm saying so that means it never ends for them.
But
like
see, when it comes to pageants, it's the same thing. Actually, now that you mention it, because we had a chat in our pageant group chat where it's like, when you get to the hotel for internationals or nationals, whatever pageant it is, never leave your room not done up, because you never know who a judge is, and if they see you not done up and then they see you done up on stage, they'll see who your true authentic self is. And you can't BS it when you're on stage anymore.
Interesting point. But again, even that, it's still in the context of, okay, you know that you have to turn it on for the entire time you're at the pageant. But when you leave the pageant, you're going to be able to be normal again. I guess it just means that they never get to be normal. Right? They just don't get to do that.
Like, but this is the life that they wanted.
True. Yeah. True. But I gotta think anything can get tiring even after a decade of doing it, right? Like, because I'm imagining too, I'm trying to think like, it all sounds great to me. I like it. But then I think about it in terms of anything, like even the most exciting thing, like anytime something happens or you achieve something, you get something, right? There's that initial excitement phase. And then eventually like the novelty wears off on everything. So even if you're given the greatest thing you've ever wanted, after a few months or even years, eventually it kind of just
dies down. Like Ginny said it on our show. Shinny Wong, when we interviewed her, she was a Disney princess on a cruise. She loved it, and then she lost that passion after a while.
Yeah, I feel like it's just hard to be consistently. I can just imagine if I had to go, like, for example, in my building, right? I have to go to the end of the hall and like throw garbage down the garbage chute, right? That's how I get rid of my garbage. Yeah. So imagine now every day I'm going out, and again, there have been times when I walk out to those, I'm wearing just my pajama pants. Like I've done that. I've walked just, or I have to go down to the garbage room and put the boxes, because you can't put boxes into the chute. You have to take that down to the room, So imagine I was just walking to the room and I got these boxes. Yeah. She's just like, you're basically just know that as soon as you leave your home, and even sometimes, I don't think they're not allowed to, but I have seen images of people on balconies and stuff like they still skulk around at homes. But let's assume you're safe in your home. As soon as you go outside, you just know that you've got it's a photo shoot all the time, every day for your whole life.
Well, like I said, they signed up for it.
I guess.
I have no sympathy. You knew you wanted to be a celebrity. You knew what comes with being a celebrity. Deal with it. You're making more money than I am. You're living a more lavish life than I am. I have no sympathy for you. I
think I have some sympathy.
No.
Because the thing as I imagine is like, again, maybe even, Ye can be an exception, I guess. But like you imagine like just even an actor, right? Somebody who is, especially a lot of actors tend to be pretty internal people. That's how they perform, right? If you imagine, okay, so they're an actor and they like being an actor because they like acting, they like going on stage, or they like being, I mean, I guess everybody wants to, you want to be successful in your field. Like, what if your dream is to just be, you want to be in films and you get to be in really great films? But I don't know if that necessarily means that they're signing up for the other part of it, right? Like, oh yeah, I want to be in films because I like to explore characters and like, be in the moment and create art. But it doesn't mean that I don't want to not be able to go outside again. But I guess that's because then you signed
up for this life.
I guess so. I mean, I guess I guess that is. So it's kind of depressing, or is it?
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, it depends how you look at it.
Like I said, Kanye is giving, or Ye is giving paparazzi things that they want to take pictures of right now. And he's giving them reasons to follow him. So if you don't give them reasons to follow you around, like if you're a low-key celebrity, like I guarantee you someone like Hilary Duff, I don't know why Hilary Duff came to mind, but I guarantee you she is more self-aware, or other celebrities are aware that if I don't give the paparazzi something to follow me for, they're not going to follow me.
That is true. And like, that's true. And what we were just touching on before, how like there are places you can go when you want to be photographed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true. And then there are, Hilary Duff's a good example. There are celebrities that you really almost never see photographed.
But she's working on a show right now, but you don't see her.
Because I'm thinking like, well, I don't know, like let's say if I go to Eaton Center right now, right? I don't see paparazzi there, right? During TIFF, there are paparazzi all over the place, but generally speaking, they stick to Yorkville and like the places where the celebrities are going to hang out. So if I was a celebrity and I was in Toronto and I was there for TIFF, but I didn't want to be seen by paparazzi,
go to Dufferin Mall.
That's the thing. You can go to Dufferin Mall. You can go to, like, there are plenty of places you can go where, no one will know you're there. Now, I'm sure, especially for that time period, they're probably, trying to find where you are and trying to track you down. But
Dufferin Mall is the place to be, guys.
Yeah. Dufferin Mall. Gerrard Square. Go to Gerrard Square. Yeah. Anyway, to put a bow on, I don't think there's any way that they could change it so that the photographers have to share a percentage. You know what? The only way they could do it is if it wasn't at the photography stage. It was at the publishing stage, like when, like, what is it, Us magazine or whatever, when they're gonna post the picture of the celebrity, they would have to like pay the celebrity a fee. But again, even that, because Us Weekly bills itself as like they're like a newspaper, like the media, like the same way the media, they're right.
Tabloids, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that whether they like it or not, the celebrities benefit from being in those magazines, right? Like, because if you're in those magazines, it means you're kind of current and you're right. It's why they want. So it's a strange relationship. So I've got to think like Us Weekly would be like, oh, you want us to have to pay you? Okay, well, guess what? We're going to make you irrelevant then. We're not going to take your pictures at all.
Or they can change the wording around and change the narrative and make you look like the worst person in the situation.
True too. It's ruthless.
You're not helping this old lady cross the street. You're hurting the old lady crossing the street.
Yeah, that's true too. It's a whole can of worms, Regine. It's a whole can of worms. But yeah. So sorry, yeah. I don't think it's gonna work out. But yeah, this was good. This was a good chat. Is there anything else? Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to bring up?
No. Because I feel like if I start talking about something, we're going to be at this for another hour.
It's possible if we really get into it. Did you watch Book of Boba Fett?
No.
Oh, okay. I watched the last 2 episodes.
Oh, my phone. Sorry, no, I haven't.
Well,
I've been watching Drag Race right now because there's a new season of Drag Race, and then there's a new version. It's Drag Race UK versus the world.
UK versus the world.
So it's based in, yeah. So essentially, what RuPaul has done is taken RuPaul's Drag Race UK and made that the hub for the show because closures and stuff like that. And so he's taken different queens from different franchises. So Thailand, Canada, I think Holland was in there, and they bring them all to, and the US, sorry, and they bring them all to the UK and they represent their country.
Is the Canadian good?
I watched RuPaul's Drag Race, sorry, it's not RuPaul's Drag Race, Drag Race Canada, and I loved the queens that they have on there. So having 2, Lemon, who is one of my favorites, and Jimbo, who is also one of my favorites, even though I'm terrified of him, are representing Canada. So I'm not going to give spoilers. I'm not giving spoilers, but
like, okay, but don't spoil. Yeah, I'm saying like comparing the Canadian ones to the others, would they have a chance?
I think it's harder for the Canadians because, so for example, Canada, Thailand, and Holland, they don't have RuPaul in that franchise. Like, he doesn't show up as a judge or the host.
So they don't get like the coaching that he might provide.
No. So this is their first time with him. So like their first impressions do count with RuPaul in this show.
Interesting.
But I find, because I've watched all of the other franchises of RuPaul, but I haven't watched Thailand. I tried, but I couldn't keep up with the captions. So like, screw it. But Thailand, their drag scene is completely different, and Holland is completely different. So it's really interesting to see the worlds literally collide in drag.
It's a lot like the Olympics, Regine, and with the teams. It's like the NHL players are not coming to be in the hockey, so they're bringing in these other players, and you don't know, is it going to work out? It's kind of a lot of parallels there.
But for Drag Race UK versus the world, you get eliminated. Like, you get sent home. At least here in the Olympics, you still have another chance if you're in a different team for the gold.
Well, you mean like the entire Team Canada can, like, there's multiple chances to win gold. Yeah, I see what you mean. But I mean, like, the hockey team only has the chance to win their gold.
True.
But I see what you're saying. Okay, great. Well, you haven't watched. I mean, I watched Book of Boba Fett. I'm gonna hold off on saying anything about it, other than it's a little bit. The structure of the show is weird. It's the story is the Book of Boba Fett. The last 2 episodes, Boba Fett hasn't been in it at all.
Oh, I heard about the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. I enjoyed them, but it's just strange in terms of structuring a show that way.
It's building up the storyline.
It is, but let's not get into it. I just think it's a little bit like there's only 1 episode left now, I believe. There's 1 episode left. It's like 7 episodes, I think, is a total, or 8, 7 or 8. Let's say it's 7. 7 episodes to tell a story about a character. And you're going to give 2 of those episodes to a different character. Yeah, fine, it's the overall story. But it just feels like you're sacrificing a lot of your show, like almost a third of your show, to parts that don't have to do with the main character. It just doesn't. It feels weird, Regine.
Or maybe the worlds are colliding, just like in Drag Race.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that's true. What we really got to see is how it ends. So we'll see. And also, I'm watching Peacemaker, which is quite good as well. I'm enjoying. Thomas says, Scott, Kion roared in a volcano and didn't cause an accident. That seems risky, Thomas. If he uses that roar in a volcano, that thing could erupt and kill everyone on Pride Rock. You got to be responsible. You see, that's the other thing, Thomas. With great power comes great responsibility. Kion needs to remember that. I still haven't seen Spider-Man. I got to see it soon.
Yeah, you do.
The problem is it's getting harder and harder to avoid spoilers because as more and more time goes on, there are more and more memes and everything being posted, and I'm seeing pictures, and I'm like, I know this is from anything. Okay, scroll by. Or like I'll be watching like random videos where like somebody's reacting or talking about something else, and then they'll like use an example. Oh, that's like when Spider-Man Far From Home. Blah, 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 and I'm like, no! So it's getting harder and harder.
Just watch it.
I know. Well, I mean, it's just a matter of me going to a movie theater, so.
Just do it. It's worth it. I hope.
We'll see. Well, I mean we're hoping.
I've learned that Scott and I have different tastes in movies. So, I mean, you might not like one. I might love it.
I'm positive I'm going to like Spider-Man. I'm sure I will. Because I've really enjoyed all of the ones. All the Spider-Man movies with this Tom Holland, what is it? Far From Home, Homecoming. Those are like among my favorite of all the Marvel movies, right? So I have full confidence that this one is going to be good, I'm sure. And also the reviews have all been great. So I'm sure I'm going to enjoy it.
No pressure.
It's just a matter of, am I ready to go to a theater? Do I want to go to a theater right now?
Just keep your mask on.
Well, yeah, I'm going to do that. But then I'll just have a little straw.
Just do what you did last time. Wash your bag of nibs and you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can probably pick a time when there'll be nobody. We'll see. Anyways, that's a story for another day. We'll figure it out. Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on my YouTube channel for The Pageant Sit Down. We are actually going live tomorrow instead of Wednesday, so make sure you check it out at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be having my co-host interview, my co-host Liz Marnog, as we interview Kaylee Jackson, so make sure you tune in. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok. My one video is almost at 1,000 views, which is crazy to think. It's Regine Alaina on all handles. You can also follow my pageant journey to the International Galaxy Pageant on Instagram and Facebook at Mrs. Galaxy 7 Canada 2022. Scott, where can people find you?
You can find me right here. We're watching this very video, youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown. And please check out my latest song cover, guys. Worked really hard on it, and I think it looks great. God gave rock and roll to you and to everyone, everybody. Check it out. Myself and Taylor the Brown, rockin' and rollin' and whatnot. Check it out. like this video, subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Scott Dion Brown or on TikTok at Scott Dion Brown Official. But YouTube is the best place because that's where you get everything. You get the sit down. You get the music. You get vlogs. You get unboxing videos. You get gaming. You get it all.
You get me.
people.
No kidding.
Well, yeah. I mean, Regine here every Sunday. But make sure you guys subscribe to Regine as well. Her link in the description for her channel and the pageant sit down. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Oh, and you should follow our social media. Scott always forgets to mention it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, bottom right corner of the screen, everybody. The Sit Down Radio Show on Instagram, and Sit Down Scott on Twitter. And you can also follow us on. I mean, we have a Facebook page as well, right? Just search the Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. But still, the best place to find that show is right here where you're watching the show. Like, watch the show.
Exactly.
But if you want to reach out to us or have questions or suggestions for the show, yeah, find us on social media and all of those. And
Get yourself a t-shirt so you match with us. This is unintentional today, FYI.
Just totally coordinated. Yeah, we both literally had the same idea of like, oh, I haven't worn the shirt in a while. I guess we'll wear it. And then we both log into the call and it's like, oh.
Like, oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, twin.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go have some breakfast. So, Regine, good chat.
Lunch.
I'll have some brunch then. I'll have some brunch.
There you go. Sunday brunch day.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody.
Bye.